Welcome to the ALLGROUND Pod. 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 Welcome to the ALLGROUND Pod.
Boom. Welcome to the ALLGROUND Podcast.
Woo, I wish we had air horns. That would be great. Noisemakers.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we've got this awesome Rodecaster Pro board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have to plug in an air horn for that. Yeah, if you're really missing air horn in this podcast, I can't hear that.
Sorry.
Yeah. I couldn't hear it. That's weird.
That's
Not in my
okay.
headphones.
Yeah.
Well, so we do have an air horn.
We have an air horn. Yes.
Okay. Nice. Okay, hit me with the air horn. Nice. Yeah, that's sick.
That should bring up the level of excitement right there.
Right there. Okay, you're tuned in. You're tuned in right away. Okay, so recap. We this is our second week in a row, and we're trailblazing. We're doing the damn thing. We're bootstrapping the podcast all the way to number one.
Yeah, number one.
Yeah.
In Spotify podcasts.
Yeah.
I think that's an attainable goal in the next 2 months.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just need to get on like some really big guests.
Yeah. Do you mean like overweight or do you mean important?
Yeah.
Or both?
Both.
Like Jelly Roll would be great. He's pretty overweight, but people know who he is and they like him.
Yeah. Nobody knows his first name though. Is it Jelly?
I don't know.
First name Jelly.
Yeah.
Last name Roll. Anyways, yeah. So kind of recapping last podcast, talked about dopamine. I keep saying using or absorbing. What is it? Using it responsibly.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is. It's so when the nucleus accumbens consumes it, basically, these little vesicles, these little, they're like little bubbles that get released from your storage, go to the nucleus accumbens and you consume it, you use it, whatever. You can say it however you want.
Yeah. Okay. Well, consuming it responsibly. Please consume responsibly.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah, been thinking about that throughout the whole week and trying to use it responsibly. Definitely trying to think about what I'm absorbing. And I feel like I'm always thinking about that. I want to be absorbing things that are going to benefit me the most. And we talked about getting dopamine from watching a show. Even if you're watching it with a significant other, I asked you a question. I'm like, would it be better? Like, would I be healthier, I guess, in the long run if instead of watching a show with Ruby or just watching a movie or something, if we just chose to sit down and read together? Like, is it going to be healthier in the long run? And we both kind of answered yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of depends on what you're consuming. Of course, if I'm reading, some weird comic book or something, that probably isn't going to help me that much. But is it just the fact that you're visualizing more? Like your brain is firing way more?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I started actually after that podcast, I had listened to the Good Life podcast where they had on TJ Power, and he's the author of The Dose Effect. And so I was like, I got to read this book now because it's, that's like the real authority on the topic. I mean, that's what his research is in. He's a neuroscientist, but he talks about that. He talks about watching something versus listening to an audiobook versus reading a book. And the number one thing you can do for engagement when you're consuming information is read a book as far as building dopamine. Listening deeply is also very good. It's not far behind if you listen to something that's very engaging and you have to focus. But listening to music in the background is not going to it's not going to cause the production of dopamine. It's not bad necessarily, especially if it's just kind of calming and that sort of thing. That's fine. But watching a movie, watching Netflix, all that does is consume but not create dopamine. And that's really, I keep thinking throughout the week, of dopamine like a gas tank, or like, you played Street Fighter, right? Everybody played Street Fighter.
Yeah. Or Tekken.
Yeah. And you have that health bar.
Yeah.
Right. So imagine like you could do something to get the health bar back up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then every time you get hit, the health bar goes down. So every time you do something that consumes dopamine that just gives you pleasure, eat a piece of cake or a donut or watch Netflix or, whatever that like that kind of indulgence is, it's going to take life off that health bar. And then you have to do something to get the health bar back up. And unfortunately, we as, Americans typically just keep taking off the health bar. We end up just completely, just zeroed out all the time. And that's when we don't feel good.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I like what you said about listening deeply, because I feel like when we are doing something purely for pleasure, like just watching some show or, something where we're not like genuinely so involved or like gripped by it, that's like a waste of dopamine in some ways.
Yeah.
I feel like, I tried to practice that a little bit this weekend, where like when I'm listening to a podcast or have it on in the background, I'm always doing something. Like I'm working on multiple things at once. And I feel like I'm just trying to, absorb the things that strike me as really interesting or something. I'm trying to listen to the whole thing, but I feel like I'm never actually like just sitting down and just listening to the podcast.
Right.
And so I did that on Saturday. Like it was a podcast. It was also a video podcast. So I just watched the whole thing and just did that. And it was awesome.
Yeah.
I felt like so.
You actually get more out of it.
I was
for sure.
so engaged, and I didn't tell myself I had to be, working on something at the same time, and I was pulled to, like, as I was listening to the podcast, I'm like, oh, I should write about that. Oh, that reminds me of something with ALLGROUND. I should work on that.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I'm just going to sit here and absorb the whole podcast.
Yeah.
And that felt good, man. It felt good to just actually listen deeply and try to retain as much, because I feel like a lot of what I'm absorbing is educational content and, how to optimize my health and wellness, how to optimize myself as a jiu-jitsu practitioner and teacher, as a businessman. But I'm doing a lot of that while I'm doing other things. And I think I'm missing the, deep listening aspect of it.
Yeah.
And then when you do that, you retain so much more, and then you can go implement.
Yeah.
So rather than being like, oh, I need to implement this now, I'm going to work on that and keep listening to this podcast. Like, you think you're being more productive, but you're not. You're hindering yourself.
Yeah. Most people think they can multitask, and it's actually an incredibly rare trait that somebody can truly multitask. The vast majority of human beings, if they try to do two things at one time, both things suffer.
Yeah,
for sure. And also when you listen deeply, when you practice listening deeply, and then you say, go into a jiu-jitsu class like me, I go in and you're explaining something, and I've practiced that art of focusing and listening deeply, I will get more out of what you say. You'll have to repeat it maybe 10% less times before I actually absorb it.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you'll still have to repeat it many, many times, but maybe a few less. That's all.
I think part of that is being interested. Like you want to be listening to someone say something interesting. So if I have something to say as a teacher, I want you to tune in. I want to grasp your attention.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have to think about, like, when I was listening to this podcast, they had my attention the whole time because they were talking about something I really wanted to listen to. And the back and forth conversation was so good. I was like, I don't want to tune out.
Right.
But I do believe that if you're really not absorbing it, you just move on. Like, don't force yourself. Don't force yourself to read the book that you're truly not interested in.
Yeah, if you just hate it, then sometimes you just got to kind of throw in the towel on that thing, and that's fine. Unless you're in a class and it is an assigned reading, and then you just have to suffer through it. But just know that if you have the willpower to suffer through, you actually do benefit from that.
Yeah,
you generate more willpower, and you do generate dopamine because you're doing something that's challenging for you.
Yeah.
And challenging can just be staying interested.
Yeah.
And forcing yourself to stay interested.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a two-way road for sure. We got a comment on one of the videos for the ALLGROUND Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about the dropout rate in jiu-jitsu. So we did a video on the dropout rate in jiu-jitsu and how even just showing up to jiu-jitsu, you're already beating the statistic. And it did really well. It's like, it did over 100,000 views. And I think it resonated with a lot of people.
Right.
But it's been interesting to see some of the comments. Some of them are really like inspiring and people being like, yeah, I quit for a while and I just got back into it. And, now I can't stop. I want to get my black belt. A lot of really inspiring things. But there were some people that were saying recently that, oh yeah, it's because most teachers suck or most instructors suck. And I thought about that as well. And growing up in jiu-jitsu, I've obviously seen so many instructors.
Yeah, you've had good ones and bad ones.
Had good ones and bad ones, and I've had, I've seen black belts that, probably aren't real black belts.
Or they're real black belts, but they're terrible teachers.
They're terrible teachers, or even, they'll say something or give an instruction cue, and I just think, maybe that's not right. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to be ignorant to the fact that there's some things I say or do that some really high level instructors would not agree with. And I think owning that and just always trying to further educate yourself as an instructor is the real sign of a good instructor. And
I think that's a really healthy way to look at it. I think that's the way we should look at all things. I mean, just because you're a subject matter expert does not mean you know everything about that subject.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you can't know more or refine what you know.
Yes.
And that's a really healthy way to go through life, because as soon as you think you know everything, you just become dogmatic and closed-minded, and then you're a really difficult person to deal with. And that's no fun. Nobody wants to talk to a person like that.
Yeah. Man, you're so right. That's true. And people can feel that from instructors and teachers. Like if you seem like a know-it-all. And that can be discouraging to some people. I think even in this podcast, it's like owning that I was listening to, owning your faults and in regards to absorbing content or education. Like, people actually appreciate when you mess up or when you mess up on your words, or you're not saying everything perfectly. It humanizes you in a lot of ways, and that grasps people's attention more.
Oh, absolutely.
And then they're more engaged. I think when you're too robotic or you're trying to say everything perfectly, then people can even then tune out.
Yeah. I mean, there's a fine line.
There is.
If you speak elegantly, but you have a little bit of a rough edge to the way that you speak, I think that it's very engaging. If you speak perfectly all the time, it feels scripted. And if you speak as if you don't really know English very well, but yet you're a native speaker, that's a little bit off-putting. If you use too many filler words, it can be very distracting for people. So, but whatever the case, I think we should get on to the thing that you wanted to talk about, which I think is cool, because it's like where the rubber meets the road. We've talked a lot about the theory of dopamine and a little bit of, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, but you have a pretty cool topic for today. So you want to roll that out?
Oh yeah. So yeah, it's important that we're sticking to a theme here with the ALLGROUND Pod and really providing as much value as we can. And so last week we talked about dopamine, being able to sort of leverage that and understand it more. And this week, Ty and I had a conversation about the Monday blues, going into the week feeling like, oh shit, it's Monday. And what is happening there neurologically, chemically. And it does have a lot to do with dopamine and how you're orienting your week and your weekend. And ultimately we decided that, based off the research that you've read and just our conversations, that the weekend and how you use it or abuse it is ultimately going to set you up for the best Monday or the worst Monday.
Right.
And you're either going to be excited about it or you're going to continue to have those Monday blues, those start of the work week blues, which if you absolutely hate what you do for a living,
yeah, there's probably no getting around it.
There's no getting around it, but I think that there still are tools. And when I was trying to think of those tools and write them down, I definitely kept in mind that people might hate what they do, but that doesn't mean that they have to hate Monday.
Yeah, exactly. So, they don't have to hate Monday more than they hate every other day.
Exactly.
For sure. And if you find yourself hating Monday more than you hate Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then definitely there are things you can do to improve Mondays, for sure.
So Ty and I decided to write down 3 things each that would set us up for success on Mondays, or just having the best Monday, or getting ready for the week.
Right.
So yeah, should we roll them out?
And I'm actually really excited because we did this completely independently. We did not, I mean, we've talked a lot, but we didn't say, okay, what's your number one? And
Exactly.
So they could be complete overlap, or they could be completely different. I have no idea.
We have no idea what each other's are right now, and that is exciting.
And what I did is I tried to lay mine out in kind of a sequential pattern. So, if you do number 1 and you do number 2, then you do number 3. They kind of build on each other.
That's really cool. I kind of just picked my top 3 that I'm thinking about right now, top of mind right now. I'm sure that this could change, and maybe we could do this again, in a future podcast. But yeah, I say we get into it.
Yeah. Once you roll out number 1, so let's do it like round robin. You do number 1, then I'll do number 1. And if they're in agreement, that'll be really cool. There'll be less content, but at least we can give each other high fives. And then you do number 2, and then I do number 2, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Okay. I love it. So this first one is called the Excel list, or the Excel list.
Excel list.
Yeah. Hybrid word.
That's a made up word, and I like it.
It is. Yeah.
I approve.
And I think for me, we dread the week because we just sort of think about it as this 5 days of, we just got to work. Yeah, we got to work. It's all responsibility and no excitement. And so the Excel list are things that you would be really proud of accomplishing by the end of the week. And so I think if we go into that, if we write it during the weekend, you put together your Excel list on a Saturday or a Sunday, and then you start to get excited about the things that you could accomplish that would make you proud by the end of the week. And I sort of think about this in terms of character building. So, for example, Monday, you could be like, on Monday, I'm finally going to cook that special meal for my significant other. I always think about it. I always think about cooking her dinner or something nice or something my grandma used to make.
Yeah.
On Monday, I'm going to do that.
I love it.
Or I'm going to take her to the movies. Ruby and I think about just doing a classic date, dinner and a movie.
Yeah.
And maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, we're just going to go classic date, dinner and a movie. We're not going to overthink it, even if the movie sucks.
Yeah.
For some people, it's working out 3 times a week. They always tell themselves, I'm going to go to CrossFit. I'm going to go to jiu-jitsu 3 times this week.
Yeah. Write
that down, make a contract with yourself, and say, I'm going to do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. At the end of the week, I'll be so proud. And I could keep going down the list here, but I think, my first one is that Excel list.
I love it.
Write down
so
the
you're
thing.
planning.
Yeah, write down the
week.
things that would make you so proud of yourself that you accomplish during the week, and do the things that you kind of always tell yourself that you're going to do, or tell yourself you're going to do, but you don't do. And I think, cooking dinner for a significant other, grabbing coffee with that friend that you actually want to hang out with, but you're always too busy or something.
Dude, I love it because a lot of times we get through a week and we're like, man, I didn't get anything meaningful done. I just kind of drudged my way through and it sucked. If you make that list, then you are prioritizing things that are important to you.
Yeah.
And you get them on your schedule and you just say, look, I can't do this thing, on Tuesday night that you wanted me to do because I have this other thing already planned.
Yeah.
It occupies that space on your schedule, and then you get it done and you already know it's going to make you happy at the end of the week. So it's a double whammy because you get that to look forward to accomplishing.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the week, you're going to feel accomplished because you did these things.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Cool.
I think that's really good.
Thanks.
So that creates some excitement on a Sunday night.
Yes. Yeah. It's exciting. And
you wake up Monday morning excited to get started on these things.
Especially if you put something that you want to excel at on Monday. You're like, I want to go do this, or I want to go on this hike that I always say I'm going to go on after work or something, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But you're not. And that's also for people that kind of hate their job or something. They're so not excited about Monday. So don't make Monday about work.
Yeah. If you hate your job, it could be, I'm going to do this thing that I've been wanting to do at work that might make me like my job more.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could be related to work, maybe not.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Yeah.
So what's your number one?
Okay. So just so you know, like that does overlap my stuff a little bit. But,
Okay, perfect.
But not my number one. So my number one thing was to make your Sunday routine something regimented but rewarding. It can still
Nice.
It can still involve what we refer to as indulgences, right? But curate those indulgences. So like instead of watching Netflix, playing video games, eating junk food, right? Instead of that, like read a book, go fishing, go ride bikes, go hiking, go run a 5K, work out, do yard work, clean your garage, like do things that are going to make you, that are going to be somewhat challenging in some way, either intellectually or physically or both. And you'll feel good about having done them.
Yeah.
Like that's really important. And those activities, you know, I mean, you don't even have to know that it builds up your dopamine. If you just said, hey, my game plan is to do meaningful things on Sunday, then I'm going to do that. You know, like that's going to create a sense of enthusiasm and well-being for sure.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. That's important. And that actually kind of overlaps with my next one as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. But, should I go into it?
Sure. Yeah. If it like segues in nice, let's go.
I mean, it kind of does. And I feel like then we could both talk about it, but I mean, this is a simple one. Number 2 is just connect with nature. I think that throughout the whole week, it actually is very hard to connect with nature because we get up in the morning, we get ready for work, we go to work, and then maybe after we're going to work out or we're going to a gym or we're going back home and we're cooking and then we're going into the evening. There's not a lot of time spent in nature. And I think the weekend is an opportunity for people to reconnect with that, rekindle that flame inside you and have a lot more energy going into the week. And people know that. People know that the weekend is for hikes and whatnot, but sometimes they just
don't do it.
Yeah. You just need someone to tell you to do it. But yeah, I would just prioritize nature time, you know, going to the river, being on the grass, getting out in the sun.
And it doesn't have to be out in the middle of the forest. It's like any nature because you have parks in a cityscape. You know, if you live in New York City, you go to Central Park, or, you know, if you're in central Reno, you can just go down to Arlington Park and put your feet in the river and play Frisbee or whatever.
Yeah. It disconnects you from screens too. And
that's big,
man. I feel like there's just a level of stress occurring when we're staring at screens, even if we're working or accomplishing something. For me, there's always a level of underlying stress when I'm working on the computer, even if I'm really excited about something. And I think it's just because I'm so like locked into this technology and I can't, like, I'm not thinking about anything outside it. I'm not even almost in my own body. I'm just so engaged with tasks and task-oriented things. And that feels accomplishing. But getting on a hike and being outside isn't necessarily like a task that you need to finish. It's
an experience.
It's an experience and it refills your cup.
It does.
And I think throughout the whole week, you're pouring out from your cup and connecting with nature, truly connecting.
Your tech and health bar is going down.
Exactly. Yeah.
You need to refill it. And actually he talks, TJ Power in the Dose Effect, he talks a lot about that. Even in the podcast, on the Good Life podcast, he talks about it. He said, now, as you know, I just came back from Japan and I could not live in, say, Tokyo. It is so beyond urban. It's unbelievable. There is just complete disconnect from nature. It's like concrete jungle. There are so many people. It's the hustle and bustle and just computer screens and giant jumbo screens on the sides of buildings and stuff. It's very much like, you know, New York City.
Oh yeah.
But in the podcast, he talks about that being a serious problem in Japan. A lot of people get like very, very overwhelmed and that completely burnt out because they have such a disconnect from nature. And so Japan has actually led the research in this concept of forest bathing, where they, on the weekends, will go out to the forest and, you know, go kayaking or go hiking or something like that. And as a legitimate treatment, you know, a therapist treatment, they will tell people, you need to go out and be in nature. You have to do it. And they'll go out and it significantly increases their level of happiness. increases their serotonin levels. And then if you do something that's strenuous, it also increases your endorphins, which, by the way, that's in DOSE, it stands for dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. Endorphins are the neurotransmitter that help you manage stress. So if you can go out into nature and go for a hike or kayak or mountain bike or something like that, you get a double whammy. You get both increased levels of serotonin, which are, kind of deep joy feeling, not pleasure like dopamine consumption, but joy. And then endorphins, which will help you manage stress. So that weekly stress, you can just offload a lot of that by doing something that's going to generate endorphins.
Yeah. And I like tying that back to your first one, which is like, having a really solid Sunday routine. I mean, if you just run through DOSE on your Sunday routine, that's probably awesome. What would be, maybe we should give each other our ideal regiment, our Sunday regiment.
Yeah.
Because I like the idea that you were describing of it doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be just, a lazy, maybe not lazy, but lousy excuse for a Sunday.
Yeah.
What would be an ideal Sunday for you getting into Monday?
Yeah. So I think an ideal Sunday would be to not sleep in. I think if you have to have a day where you want to sleep in, which generally most neurochemists will agree, most physicians will agree, sleeping in is never a great idea. Keep your sleep schedule as consistent as possible. That having been said, if you're really behind on sleep and you're just worn out, Saturday mornings would be the sleep in day.
Yeah, that's me. I'm definitely.
Yeah.
I don't think I set an alarm on Saturday.
And even then, if you're used to getting up early, when your eyes pop open, don't force yourself to go back to sleep. Just get out of bed.
Yeah.
That's fine. But on Sundays, I would say purposefully get out of bed, not super early, but just get out of bed relatively early in the morning. Go out, see the sunrise if possible, get sunlight in your eyes. It'll wake you up. It'll start to, make you feel good. I would say that would be the way you would start your Sunday.
Yeah.
And then from there, have some activities planned. It doesn't have to be your, every minute is accounted for, but have some activities planned that involve a little bit of strenuous work, a little bit of focus work, at least a little bit, and spend as much time as you can with your loved ones.
Yeah.
Because that's going to get your oxytocin levels up, which again, in the DOSE effect, he said that the greatest goal of humanity should be to attain as much oxytocin as possible. That's going to give you the most joy in your life.
The meaning of life.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's the meaning of life. I mean, because we're all going to live and die.
Yeah.
And during that journey, we're either going to be happy or we're not. And true happiness is not going to be from obtaining, massive amounts of dopamine. It's going to be from obtaining oxytocin.
Yeah.
So
oxy up.
Yeah.
On
And
your
then,
Sunday.
and then the finish of Sunday. Well, okay. So I'm going to kind of go into number 2 for me.
Okay.
Number 2 is to prepare for Monday. Lay out your clothes for Monday morning. So when you get up, you just have your clothes laid out.
Yeah.
If you're going to jiu-jitsu 6 a.m., which I highly recommend, by the way, have your gi ready to go, have your rash guard ready to go, have your water bottle out and all that. Meal prep. If you can't meal prep for the whole week, at least get your meals ready for Monday so that you're just ready to hit the ground running on Monday.
Yeah.
And then go to bed early. Maybe read a book at night, try to stay off screens after the sun goes down, and then just, get to bed at a good time so that you get a lot of good sleep. And, if you do all of this stuff, Monday mornings, you're going to wake up and just be excited to get out of bed.
Yeah.
It will be weird. If you always have the Monday blues and you do this instead of what you normally do, which probably involves a lot of dopamine consuming activities like eating junk food and sleeping in late and all that.
Yeah.
If you were to change that routine on a Sunday, I guarantee you, that's my personal guarantee, by the way, and you can come back for a refund if it doesn't work for you. But if you do all these things, you will wake up Monday morning feeling better than you ever have on a Monday morning.
Yeah, I agree. Ruby and I have a Sunday tradition of just an early Sunday dinner, which I love because
So good.
I'm just usually eating dinner so late from being all ground later. And my body's become accustomed to that. But Oh man, when we are having dinner by 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., I'm so stoked. And I already like to eat. So like the earlier we can move dinner, the better. And we're back. Okay. A little interruption there as someone came up to the door. And I think I said in the first time we messed up on this podcast, that we are in the lobby right now of All Ground. And I'm kind of posted in front of the door for those who are watching the podcast can see.
Yeah.
But someone just came up to the door.
We thought he was homeless at first, and Elias was going to fight him, but then he realized he was not, in fact, homeless.
Bring it, dude. Oh, I'm actually just here to drop off some information. Blast him.
Nice. Okay, so I think you were talking about your early dinner being something that you really enjoy on Sunday nights.
Love it. So excited. I'm always excited for dinner. I'm always excited for any meal.
Yeah.
But the Sunday dinner.
Isn't it sad when you're sick and you don't want food, and then you want to want food, but you don't, and it just feels terrible?
Yeah, it does.
It's really awful.
It is awful. I've got an appetite though, even when I have the flu. Like, I still want to eat. Like, I think it's a superpower.
That is pretty impressive.
I've always got it. Well, for the most part, I have an appetite always. But yeah, oh gosh, I just love that. And then after dinner, I mean, it's just kind of relaxing time.
Yeah,
we can chat, we can read, we can go on the porch, we can watch a movie together. It's just, God, it is so nice to have that early dinner. Like, having dinner before the sun sets is so good.
We talked a lot this week, you and I, just about, should we watch movies? Should we watch them at night? And I thought a lot about it, and there's different ways to watch movies. When you go to a movie theater and you just sit there and everybody's very, very quiet, and you get clinically hypnotized by the movie, right? Yeah. Then that is not a shared experience. You might as well be there by yourself. At some points you might pop out and be like, oh yeah, I am sitting next to Ruby. That's really great. I feel good about that. And then back, but when you're at home and you're watching a movie, and you can just like laugh and, say, oh, I love this part, or, kind of chat through the movie. I think that's a totally different experience. And I suspect that while being on a screen after the sun sets is probably not the best thing, but I think that's probably the best way to watch a movie with a loved one or in a family, where it's kind of an active watching. Yeah. Like they do those watch parties now where you can bring you can bring people together remotely and all watch together and kind of chat and stuff. I think that's probably the ideal way to do it if you're going to do it. Yeah,
I agree. And it's no stress for Ruby. I mean, she falls asleep in about the first 20 minutes of anything we watch.
Yeah. So she just gets to bed early.
Blue light is not affecting her sleep whatsoever. In fact, it might be inducing it.
Yeah. I don't know. Some people get lulled to sleep by movies. I do only if I'm incredibly tired, but otherwise I don't fall asleep during movies.
I was telling you earlier, like last weekend we started a movie at 4 p.m. And that was awesome because I was.
She still fall asleep though?
Oh, she was falling asleep towards the end.
Oh wow! Yeah, but she made it through mostly.
She made it through 75% of the movie.
That's
and then she
really
was
great.
Well, yeah, it was impressive.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if we start something like at night, like after 8 o'clock, it might as well be NyQuil.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention, by the way, the end of my number 2, and I don't mean poop. The end of my number 2 for this list.
Party, I hope.
Yeah. Is to wipe. No, the end of that one was to lay out goals for the week, which is, funny because that's where it overlapped with your number 1, right?
Yeah.
It was, you lay out all your clothes, you pack your gym bag, you get your food ready, and then also like sit down and just say like, what do I want to get done? At least what do I want to get done on Monday? But if you can, like, what do I want to get done this week? The more planning you can do, the better. But just setting a few goals out, I definitely think is really, really valuable. And it doesn't have to take you 2 hours. You can sit down and just be like, you typically know pretty quick, what do you want to accomplish?
Yeah.
What things have you not accomplished for the last 4 months because you keep putting it off? That, man, if I could tackle this week, I would feel so good about it.
I'd feel so freaking good.
Yeah. So exciting.
Yeah. And maybe you need more of an incentive. Like Friday night, you only get to eat this thing. Like if you always want to get In-N-Out or something, or you want to have a big pot of mac and cheese.
Yeah.
You only get that. You get your victory meal if you actually did the things you said you were going to do. If not, you've gotta sulk and cry like a little wuss ass punk. You know?
Self-flagellation.
You gotta go into the weekend and do nothing but lay in bed and be a loser until Monday when you have an opportunity to win the week again.
Yeah, that sounds healthy. I like it.
Yeah.
Healthy
I think
way
that's
to go about
actually what I should have put on my list. I was being too nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be a coward.
Write everything you hate about yourself on Sunday. And then hopefully on Friday, you hate yourself a little less.
Yeah.
And if it's more, you suck.
Okay, please disregard everything that he just said. Don't do that.
No, that's
but
evil.
it was fun.
That is evil Elias coming through.
Yeah. It's a little shoulder devil.
Yeah.
All right. What do you have for number 3?
Number 3. Okay.
I think this one has the best chance of being an overlap. But
I don't.
That's my prediction. No?
No.
You're like, no, this is totally unique.
There's no
Nobody's thinking of this.
Okay. Number 3.
It's not an enema, right? Get an enema.
Shit. We do have the same thing.
Colonic.
Yeah. Crystal said that was bad.
Yeah, don't get colonics.
Yeah. Okay. My third one, I actually thought about this morning.
Okay.
It is write down, based off the average age, how many weeks you have left to live.
Ooh.
And you can write that down on Sunday.
Yeah.
So for me, I'll be 29 this year. And so I'm just going to round up, say I'm 30. I hope to live to 100.
Yeah.
I hope.
Going to be a
A
centenarian.
healthy life.
Yeah.
Be cool. But yeah, so I would just calculate how many weeks I have left to live. And at first it kind of seems like a big number. But then when you think about it, you're like, oh no, that's not a big number at all. That's a pretty small number.
Well, yeah, we have a hard time as humans putting things to scale. So maybe a better way to do it would be, how many months do I have left to live? And that's a much smaller number.
Yeah.
It's approximately 1/4 the size of the number of weeks you've got. So that really, like, when you see that relatively small number, you're like, wow, I need to get at it. I need to get after it. And like, I don't want to have regrets.
Yeah. And even in, a week that maybe doesn't feel that exciting, like there's this line in a Parker McCollum song that I really like. And he says, 5 o'clock comes slow, but the years sure fly by.
Yeah.
And I think about that with the week.
Yep.
Sometimes Friday comes slow. It's a grueling week. Maybe just a lot of things that you had to get done. But then in like 5 years, you're saying like, oh man, that was 5 years ago. That feels like yesterday or something.
Yeah.
And it's true. The years do fly by. And I think if you're conscious of that by even writing it down, based off how long you think you're going to live, and be honest with yourself, it puts it into perspective. And then this whole idea of like, oh, I'll have time for that later. It's like, no, you won't. And you're also not guaranteed these next however so many years, months, or weeks. You're not guaranteed them.
Get hit by a bus
You're
tomorrow.
literally, yes, exactly. You're not guaranteed tomorrow. So I think just putting that into perspective is a really powerful practice, and can also make us maybe feel a little more grateful going into Monday.
Yeah. Dude, I love it. I think that's great. So my wife sent me this TED Talk where the guy goes over how many months the average human being lives, and has a visual, of course, has like little circles on a whiteboard for the months you have left to live. And then he starts going through averages, like how much time you're going to spend in the bathroom, how much time you're going to spend sleeping, how much time you're going to spend cooking, how much time you're going to spend driving to and from work, and that sort of thing. Right. And so you're left with these months at the end. And then this is where like he really puts the punctuation mark on it. He says, as of right now, the average kid, around, from 13 to 18 will spend the remaining months they have of their life, over 90% of it looking at a screen. And I'm like, that just makes me want to put a gun in my mouth. I'm like, that's so depressing.
bad.
It's so depressing to think
That is
about.
so sad.
But that's the reality. That's what most people are going to do. And I think that if, people can be honest with themselves about how much time at best they have left and realize how finite it is, then their chances of making better decisions definitely goes up.
Yeah.
So I love that one. That one's really good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crushed it out of the park.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, you get the air
Perfect
horn for that
timing.
one. Yeah. That's
Let's
like
go.
the equivalent of the golden buzzer on All Ground Has Talent.
All Ground Has Talent.
For some people have talent.
Yeah.
Not me, but
We can't steal Nate's idea. Nate, he was talking about doing an All Ground Talent show.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, damn, that's pretty good. That would be so much fun.
It would be.
To host the All Ground Talent show.
Yeah.
All of our members. Oh, that'd be so fun.
Oh, by the way, as an aside, before I get to my number 3, one of the things that he talks about in the dose effect, one of the things that really, really raises your serotonin and can raise oxytocin as well is singing and dancing. Singing out loud is big. It's really big. So he's like, when you're driving down the road and listening to the radio, sing to it.
Nice.
Sing loud.
Should we sing the rest of this podcast?
Turn it into a musical. It's like La La Land.
Ty, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is to
People are like, fuck.
start your Monday with a solid routine.
Nice.
Yeah, that would immediately turn people off.
They're like, okay, I'm done.
But it got me thinking. The reason I mentioned that is it got me thinking about doing another karaoke night, which I think people had a really good time.
That was fun.
That is a good, engaging time.
Yeah.
Even if you don't participate, like if you're just too shy to sing,
Yeah.
You still get a lot out of just participating and just being there.
Yeah.
So we definitely need to do another. And I will get another wireless mic. If we do it, that's my commitment. I'll get another wireless mic so we can do duets.
Okay. We're doing it.
Yeah.
Not this
Instead of
weekend,
like
but
having to
next
sing into the same mic, which is weird.
Yeah. So lame.
Yeah. Not this weekend,
Yeah. No.
but we will get it on the books.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. You're number 3 for real.
My number 3, and I could meld what you just said into my number 3 so we could do both.
Whoa.
Number 3 is start your Monday with a solid routine. So I think that when we get on social media or we listen to Huberman or whatever, everybody's got their input on what you should do in your morning routine. And if you did everything that everybody told you to do, you wouldn't finish your Monday routine until, your morning routine until like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
So you obviously can't do everything. But I think that it's having a routine is more important than doing all the right things. Having a routine that you feel good about, and it can be very, very simple, I think is really important. So I have an example. You could just say, okay, I get up. The first thing I do is I use the restroom, splash some water on my face, and then I make my bed immediately. Making your bed. There's been so much talk about that. There was that like general that did the commencement speech where he said, if you do one thing in life, it's make your bed.
Yeah.
And it immediately starts to build dopamine. So it will motivate you and you'll feel good about having done it. So if nothing else goes right for the day, make your bed.
And if there's somebody still sleeping in it, make it anyways.
Yeah, just make it and just get out of bed.
What are you doing? It's 4 a.m. Get up.
You are so lazy. What is wrong with you? God. But it's my day off. I don't care. Get out of bed.
We have to make the bed.
Sleep on the sofa. Okay. Yeah, there is that problem potentially. But if you have the option of making the bed,
Totally.
do it. And then as an example, something you could do is like 5 minutes of breath work, like box breathing for 5 minutes, where you just sit and breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, and hold an empty lung for 4 seconds, and then just do that for 5 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever. Just a little bit of breath work, I think really, really helps. And then maybe a little bit of reading. And as an example, a book I really like is The Daily Stoic. It's 365 days of excerpts, and you can buy that book and you can jump to that day in the book, no matter what time of year you buy it, and you can just start reading it and you just read it every day. And so that could be part of your routine, and it will like ground you and make you feel good. And so that could be a morning routine. Get up, use the restroom, wash your face, make your bed, do a little breath work, and read for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It could be simpler than that. it could be incredibly simple, but having a routine that gets you moving and doing anything meaningful would be really, really powerful.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
And part of the routine could be, there are websites, by the way, where you can look and see how many weeks do I have left in my life.
Yeah.
If you put in your birth date. So that could just be like every Monday.
Yeah.
Look at that website and be like, oh yeah, that's what I got.
Another week down.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's awesome. I've been sort of have had this mantra in my head for the last couple of weeks, but it's just your routine is the bridge between where you are now and who you want to become or what you want to become.
It's absolutely true.
And I just been thinking about it so much because the most successful individuals, and I'm saying success in terms of, feeling the most optimized and happy and joyful
Fulfilled,
and fulfilled, just have solid routines that don't get broken unless they want to break them for something special. But yeah, it feels really good to have your routine and to appreciate your routine. And I love it.
So do you have a morning routine, by the way?
I do. Yeah. During the morning. So my morning routine actually changes based off the day. Because like on Saturday and Sunday mornings, the first thing I do is Burger and I go to the park. Burger's my dog.
Yeah.
We go to the park and I go grab a cup of coffee just right next to the park and just hang out with him like first thing in the morning.
That's awesome.
And then usually I'm coming to the gym afterwards or on Sundays, doing something for work or, but yeah, so that's kind of the weekend. During the week when I have training in the morning, or I'm teaching at 6 a.m., I always get up and I go in to the bathroom. I splash some water on my face. I actually kind of just recently started doing that. I've never done that, but it's just felt really good to get like cold water.
Just
like
wakes you up.
On my temples and on my forehead. It feels really good. And then I chug some water and I start making coffee.
Nice.
And I don't actually drink the coffee for at least like 45 minutes to an hour. So I'll just keep it in my cup, my thermos, because I don't want to affect that adenosine.
Yeah.
But just the act of making it feels really good and it actually wakes me up.
It's a routine.
Exactly. I grind the beans, I start the kettle, I do the whole pour over, and then I just get it ready.
Yeah, and that's super simple, but if you follow the routine, it will help you through the day.
Yeah. My morning pretty much looks like that. It's very, very similar morning. And then I come here and I'm either teaching at 6 a.m. or I'm training, and immediately, surrounded by good people. So I'm really fortunate to have such an awesome morning routine because, I have ALLGROUND and can come here and start teaching and being with people that I really like and getting on the mats and sweating. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I've, through the years played around with different routines, and sometimes you fall out of having a routine and you get lazy and apathetic and stuff. And you just have to kind of recommit to that routine or a routine. As of late, my wife challenged me to start doing more gratitude practices. And so what I've incorporated is, I am getting up, going pee, washing my face, and then making the bed because my wife leaves before me. So it's super easy for
early.
me. Yeah, right, she's always at the gym. She's very dedicated to the gym. So she's either coaching or working out. But I'll make the bed, and then assuming that I did everything right the night before, then I've got a little bit of free time, whether I'm going to ALLGROUND or not. But then I'll sit down and I have a little journal and I'll write down 5 things that I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of overlap. I mean, number 1 on my list is always Supa.
Right.
And I think that's healthy, but I'll write something
awesome.
different about her every day. And then just think of different things. It could be just, I'm grateful that I live in a country where I can practice whatever religion I want. I'm grateful that my kids are healthy, even though they treat me like crap sometimes. I'm grateful that, but I think gratitude is never bad. I have had box breathing in my routine. But if I have to choose, I think the gratitude is what I would choose more. But if you have time and you've got more free time in the morning, you can add other things that make you feel good.
Yeah, totally.
Could be Wim Hof breathing.
Yeah.
Just don't do it in the bathtub or you'll drown.
Yeah. or in the cold plunge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which I really want to get back to.
Yeah, I love my cold plunge. I've been using it pretty regularly, and also my sauna. I think sauna and cold plunge is really great. But I don't think, my wife always has this thing about like people will buy a cold plunge and they're like, this is going to fix my life, right?
Yeah.
Or I'm going to buy a sauna and this is going to fix my life. She's like, there are a lot of things you can do before you need any of that.
Yeah.
You can eat better, you can exercise, you can manage your sleep routine. There's so many things in your life that you can do, like stay off your phone, that are going to make your life 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
And then if you want to incorporate those things in, they also, especially the sauna can really, really help with your cardiovascular health. But like, you don't need to start with that. That's just throwing money at a problem. Like, make your habits and your routines and those things should be supportive of a healthy lifestyle before you start buying supplements and getting your blood work done. And like, if you're doing all the wrong things and then you're gonna get in the cold plunge once a day, it might make you feel a little bit better, but it's not money well spent.
Yeah.
So
it's true. And it's like deciding to start investing in the stock market when you still have a bunch of debt or something.
Yeah.
Like you're
gonna fix it.
Investing into a leaky bucket.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. So yeah, figure out what sort of like ignorance debt you're already paying.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out what are the things that
Stupid
I'm doing.
tax.
The things that I'm doing that are like currently affecting me negatively before I start thinking about adding some more positive things into my life, whether it's something I have to purchase or something I have to start doing. Like, what are the things I have to stop doing?
Yeah.
First.
It's funny. I got into in a previous life, I got into triathlons a little bit and, did like Wildflower down in SoCal. And, I did a lot of road cycling at the time, and I was looking at getting a bike. So I ended up getting this giant TCR Limited, which is kind of a racing frame. And I was all excited about it. It was kind of an expensive bike.
I know the TCR Limited. It's so trash.
Yeah, it sucks. It was carbon fiber, no big deal.
Yeah.
But what I took from that time in my life is I would see these guys go spend $10,000 on a bike and maybe drop another $2,000 on a wheel set to shave off maybe 6 ounces of weight, but they had the big fat bellies on them. And I was like, bro, you could buy a bike at Walmart if you just took care of yourself, and you would be net lighter than the guy on the most expensive bike in the world. You know what I mean? Like, it's just insane the amount of money guys would spend to shave off a little bit of weight here and there, when all they had to do was just like cut their calories a little bit.
That is fucking funny.
It was pretty wild, actually. And so that's the analogy I use in my life for if I'm going to do something or spend money to, improve my life, is this really the optimal way to spend my resources, or should I just improve my habits a little bit? And this is, again, going back to the wisdom of my wife, which she doesn't think that I think she's wise. I think she thinks that I think I know everything, but she's very wise, and I take her advice to heart always. She's a very, very smart person. So,
and she knows you the best.
She does. Yeah. She observes me and shakes her head just like you do shaking. When I'm trying to do a new move in jiu-jitsu, and you're like, no, bro, that's not it, man.
Oh, Ty.
Yeah. So what I love about all this stuff, though, is when it comes to, these 4 things, the dose, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, is that you don't need to know the biochemistry. You don't need to understand that. You don't have to be a biochemist to improve your life. You just, if you just said, okay, Elias, you understand these things fairly well. What things should I do? Just give me some empirical things that I should do in my life, and they will improve your life. Mm-hmm. Just habits. So I like understanding why things work the way they work, because I'm a software developer. I like that. I'm an analytical guy, but not everybody wants that. Some people they're just like, hey, just tell me what to do. And so that's what we did today. We're just telling you what to do. You don't need to know why. Yeah. Just do it, and your life will be 100 times better. 30, well, at least 30 times better on Monday. Well, that's the promise.
Yeah. Yeah. That being said, if you've made it here towards the end of the podcast, I'm going to issue a real challenge, a real result. Okay. And not just joking this time. if you are determined to take some of these things that Ty and I have gone over and implement them into this coming weekend and this coming, Monday, prove it to us. Send me on Instagram at AllGround Jiu-Jitsu. Just DM at AllGround Jiu-Jitsu. And if you don't have Instagram, email me at Elias at allgroundjiujitsu.com.
That's ELIAS.
Yeah. Email me your Excel list or DM me your Excel list.
Nice.
And you don't have to share maybe some private details, but share something that you promise to yourself that you're going to accomplish this week.
Mm-hmm.
And get excited about, or not this week, but next week, when you plan it on Saturday or Sunday, that's going to make you proud at the end of the week. And in reward, I have 5 All Ground hats to give away.
They're the last 5.
Yeah. We've got a lot, but just in case more people do this than I expect.
Yeah.
I've got 5 All Ground hats to give away. Even if you are in a different state and you send me your list, your Excel list, and you prove to me that you're going to do it, prove to us, then I'm going to send you an All Ground hat. And if you're here at All Ground, I'm going to give you an All Ground hat.
And to be clear, you don't even have to necessarily prove that you did the things on the list. It just has to be things that excite you.
Yeah.
And if you are excited to get them done, you're probably going to be motivated enough because you wrote it down to actually attack that list.
Yeah.
You might get 5 things written down, get 3 of them done. You'll still feel good about it.
Yeah. And if you didn't do it at all and you have an All Ground hat, you'll just feel really shameful or ashamed.
If you just lied and wrote down a bunch of stuff you don't even care about for a free All Ground hat, then you'll just feel bad about yourself. And that's your punishment that you generated for yourself.
That works for us.
Ironically, I'm reading the book Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky right now, and it's all about like that inner shame and turmoil for doing something horrible. So I know what you'll go through if you cheat the system.
Yeah. So DM All Ground Jiu-Jitsu, your Excel list, or email Elias at allgroundjiujitsu.com, your Excel list.
Yes.
And first 5 people to do it get an awesome All Ground hat and maybe something else as well.
Ooh, maybe something else.
I don't know.
Maybe. You don't know. Could be something wrapped up in that hat.
Yeah. It could be something secret. Ooh, an Easter egg.
But not a real Easter egg, because that would get all over the place.
No, just a metaphorical Easter egg.
Yes.
Which could be anything.
Yeah. So what do you think? Best podcast ever?
Yeah. I think the best podcast ever is when we had the fill-in for Laird.
Yeah.
No, sorry, that was Laird.
Yeah, the faux Laird.
Yeah, that was Laird. He was just tired and didn't want to say anything.
Yeah, lazy
God,
sack
I can't
of
remember
crap.
what episode that was. It was so funny. All right, any closing thoughts, or are we good?
Yeah, the only closing thought I have is you have the power to control how you feel.
Yeah.
And if you think that the world is just happening to you and you feel the way you feel because the world is happening to you, that's not true.
Yeah.
You have power. You can change the way you feel.
100%. Parker Blake, train harder.